I made a big post about this on my personal Facebook page, and basically those photos put me in a funk, not because I did an awesome job, but as I shared my post, I saw those pictures and I started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, how many of you, like, when you look at pictures of yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, look at me, for whatever reason. It could be for, anything that you don't like about your body. And I was just so discouraged for just a brief time, and then I got myself out of that funk and I started loving my body. I started reminding myself how much I love my body, how amazing my body is, what my body has done, what my body's doing now. And I got a lot of positive feedback from that post. I got a lot of people interacted with it and just encouraged me and shared with me. And I hope it was there to encourage others. That journey to loving my body and what I'm doing for my body, to care for my body, to nourish my body, and why I have given up on diets completely. That doesn't, me saying that, I'm not talking about not eating healthy and not desiring to be to lose. But I think that the reason why a lot of people embrace these fad diets, and I'm going to name some of them because, I see these things pop up all the time. And if you do these things and they work for you, that's fine. But this is why I've chosen not to do these things. So I'm talking keto, paleo, trim healthy mama. What are some of the other ones? Intermittent fasting. I've dabbled in all of these, to be honest, and some of them I've tried to get on plan. I've personally talked about the GAPS diet, and I include that too because, there's nothing wrong with these diets. They are backed up by science. But when you start these diets, the problem is not the diets themselves. Well, I'll get into that. But when you start a diet plan with the intent to lose weight or to change something, and you don't do the inner work of loving your body as it is right now first, you're setting yourself up for failure and for yo-yo dieting. Right? How many of you have done that? How many of you who have struggled with issues related to weight have yo-yo dieted? You lose the weight, you gain it right back because you did not do enough of the inner work. Some of these diets are not meant to be maintained. They are not meant to be a lifestyle. So, and counting calories, that's the worst. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. And I feel like there's reasons why that's the worst. I mean, this video might be a little bit touchy, a little bit offensive for some people, and it's not meant to be. I apologize if it is. I'm going to put a link. What got me thinking about this was a podcast that I listened to by my friend Megan Chance. She has an amazing podcast. I'm going to put the link to that specific episode here in the comments of the dietitian who talks about something called intuitive eating. Now, intuitive eating, you're like, no, wait. You just said you don't do diet fads. What are you talking about? This is not a diet fad. This is listening to your body and loving your body as it is, rejecting diet culture. That's the first principle of intuitive eating, is rejecting diet fads. Because really, you're just doing a thing without doing the mindset work. And that's what I teach all the time, is if you don't do the mindset work first and lay that foundation and make mindset, not only laying a foundation, but making mindset work a normal, regular, daily part of your life from now until forever, you're not going to achieve your goals. You're just not. You're going to stay stuck at some point. You have to overcome what's inside that's holding you back before you see results on the outside. And that goes for money, that goes for health, that goes for relationships, that goes for business. Anything, it's necessary. It's a necessary skill that I'm teaching in my course. But what they're talking about with intuitive eating is that food is not good or bad. It's neutral. It's just food. Food is energy, and it's, everything's made up of matter and energy, and it has no moral value. Now, does it have a nutritional value? Yes, there's a spectrum of nutritional value when you look at food, but a lot of times when we eat what we're not supposed to eat, what we tell ourselves we're not supposed to eat, a lot of times when we eat something that we feel bad about later that we didn't intend to eat, is because we're still hungry. And we are restricting ourselves from certain foods or from a certain amount of food, and we're hungry and our bodies are crying out for nourishment, and we finally get to the point that we can't take it anymore and we eat based on emotions. How many people struggle with emotional eating? Okay, I have. And really, if you have a weight issue that you want to work on like I do, you really need to think about your emotions. You have to bring your emotions into the equation, because our emotions are tied to what we eat. And we have to be aware of that, and we have to use that knowledge to our advantage. And we have to just be self-aware, and we have to start with loving ourselves. We have to start with loving our body and speaking to our body and treating our body with love and care. And so, and having a good relationship with food, because this is where a lot of people get a bad relationship with food, is by starting these things. And it's maybe even losing some weight, maybe even seeing some physical differences, maybe losing a lot of weight and seeing some big differences. And then eventually you're going to plateau. Eventually you're going to start gaining back, because it's not sustainable. And so when we love our bodies, and we, as they are now, at the number on the scale we see right now, the way it looks right now, and we realize that all bodies are beautiful, all bodies are amazing, no matter how they're shaped, no matter how big or small they are. And when we start with that point, at that place, and we listen to our bodies and we nourish our bodies, that's going to help us to make choices when we eat, when we're planning our meals, when we are choosing what we're going to eat for a snack or a meal, or what we're going to drink that day. We're going to be so much more intrinsically inclined to make a choice based on what you need at that moment, what the nourishment your body is crying out for that moment, and that's going to be the best possible choice you should make. And I teach intuition and looking inside yourself. That applies to any area of your life, not just food or health. And we have to start there. Even if you feel like, or your doctor tells you, okay, you need to do paleo, or even if you feel like, okay, there's an aspect of this diet that I really like, there's a recipe from this diet that I want to use, or there's a Pinterest board I have with recipes, even if that's it, that's okay. But you need to understand that food is not good or bad. When you restrict yourself from certain types of food, you're building a wall, and that's an emotional thing. Being able to say no to that food is an emotional thing. So I have seen a lot of victory in my life just by shifting my mindset. Now, I will be honest, I have seen the number on the scale move, but I'm not focused on that. And it's not been drastic. It's not been, I'm happy with it because I'm not happy with it because, oh, I'm finally skinny again. No, I'm happy with it because I'm already happy with myself and I already love myself. And I'm adopting this as the way of life from now on. Whether I lose a lot of weight, no matter how my body changes. I've had 5 kids. I mean, my body's done some amazing things. So I just wanted to get on here and talk about that, and I want to ask what you think. Have you tried to, what ways have you tried to lose weight that have or have not worked for you? Where's
my Captain America?
I don't know. And, what ways have worked for you to love yourself more, to love your body more? Because, this is the only body we get. We have to love it. We have to, if we don't do that, we're not going to be successful in anything. Because we have to start with self-love. We have to start with mindset work. So, I just want to leave that with you because it's something that's very near to my heart. If you were interested in listening to Megan, I'm going to tag her in this video, and I'm going to post a link to it because this is powerful and this is deep. Love yourself, love your body. And so I've talked about this all week long. I talk about this all the time because this is the only week that you can get in as beta tester at 50% off. So I don't want to, overshadow what I've. If you're struggling with self-love, if you are struggling with negative body image, or just staying stuck somewhere, if you're not seeing the health results that you want and you're interested in learning more about what I'm talking about, this is something I talk about in my coaching. So my signature coaching program is right now 50% off, and you can get into it right now. It's only going to be 50% off until July 4th, until this Sunday. You only got a few more days. Message me or comment on this, and if you want to tell me anything, and if you want to know if this course is right for you, and